Me and Loaderball was going to fight over this.
Everybody always talks about the Russia will not invade Ukraine moment. That's literally at this point years ago. Something that I immediately...
Oh no! We did it! We got multiple years away from your fuck up, and your argument now is just that it is plural years ago. Good job, buddy. Time heals all wounds. Yeah, I'm way meaner to leftists than I am to Nazis, 100%. Because leftists already have the correct convictions for the most part, and I'm mad that they're fucking up my side, right? They're on my team and they're doing a bad job, so I can scream at them because we're already on the same side. Nazis, if I'm trying to convince them or their audience, then yeah, I'm going to be way nicer. How does Hasan not... I recognize it. Oh, it's because Hasan isn't actually interested in making any material change. He's just interested in the aesthetics. Yeah.
His major enemies are not really Nazis.
Wiz, who's my major enemy?
Me.
There you go. That's how you know that I'm on the level, all right? Because my major enemy is a slimy, disgusting... Wait! Okay, so Hasan has put together a video. The title is Shitting on Destiny for 32 minutes straight. Now, as a peace offering between me and Wiz, I offer him Destiny L's on a platter right here. And all I need is for Hasan to not fumble this and actually put together Destiny getting shit on correctly by Hasan. However, I've never seen Hasan win, so that might be a problem. He might struggle. There is a small chance that Hasan fumbles this, all right? Let's watch.
If any, might carry more evidence that it's a terrorist than not. What is the implication in your mind? Like, what are you thinking? You're like, oh...
Oh, no. Dude, this is great, man. This is awesome. What do the Destiny fans have to say about this? They're probably just like, oh, dude, you're taking him out of context. He
Okay, Wiz, your job here, okay, is to defend Hasan. I'm going to defend Destiny. I'm a big Destiny fan. I'm going to defend Destiny. You're going to defend Hasan, okay? That's the gimmick.
Yeah, okay.
Gimmick
Number
doing,
one,
right?
the glasses aren't that ugly.
You're really bad at
That's
this.
my first defense.
Jesus
First
Christ.
defense of Hasan.
didn't mean it. He was just joking when he says people screaming for help actually is more likely that they're terrorists is a bar for sure. I promise you I'm not a hater. It's not
I
really.
wonder how hard he's going to clip them out of context. Oh no, it's going to be chats and shit. It's going to be DGGers. Is it just going to be him shitting on DGGers and not Destiny himself? Oh my god.
Dude,
on topic, but some critical.
Oh yeah, you hate DGGers more than Destiny.
Criticism, I guess. How can you make fun of certain streamers, XD, for being Wikipedia readers, but whenever I tune into your stream, you have like 20 Twitter tabs open? Would you not agree you kind of lose the ability to make fun of others when you get the most of your research from socials? Brother, I'm actually covering something that is happening in the real world right now. It's called news. It's called news coverage, and I'm relying on journalists who I trust to deliver.
It did happen in the real world? Dude, oh my god.
Did it happen in the real world?
No, this is so
Hasan,
transparent. No, this is so transparent, dude. Hasan is literally just admitting straight up that his entire... Like, what? He didn't argue at all? Like, the way to do this would have been like, hey, look, this is an on-the-ground conflict. Obviously, there's propaganda from both sides, and it's my job as a streamer to articulate the differences between the two and figure out, like, what seems sensible and what isn't, right? Like, instead he's just like, nah, I'm looking at the real source. He's just looking uncritically at the propaganda on his side and just not changing anything or thinking about it. Oh, what the fuck, dude? This is the zero media literacy take. Jesus.
When I read a tweet, I know who tweeted it. I read a Wikipedia article, I've got no clue.
Go to the fucking Wiz, you can go. What do you mean? You can look at every single... Oh, okay. Wait, Wiz has a point. Destiny is a debate-brained midwit, but his viewers are some of the most annoying people on the internet. That's just because you hate losing debates. Have you considered that? Have you considered that the DGGs are just really good at debating?
Deliver verified information to do ongoing news coverage. I don't think you understand.
Destiny or David? I unironically and uncritically support David in all his forms and all his opinions. I love David more than I love life itself.
Well, David's only got one opinion, let's be real.
That's
love
true.
You, David.
That's true. Stop saying you love people. It's parasocial. Discourse isn't supposed to be about winners and losers. Pfft, loser. Okay. Idiot. Moron.
Yeah, hide yourself as a loser.
Oh, wait, hold on. Except in the case of Israel-Palestine, then it means everything to everyone. Oh, wow.
It. When I'm looking at Twitter tabs, I'm not just simply looking at Twitter tabs. I'm looking at Twitter tabs from journalists who I know, my peers, okay, who are breaking news. Like, for example...
Wait, did he just call journalists his peers?
Yeah,
dude.
Hasan's a journalist, dude. Do you not know this?
Oh my god.
Hasan definitely probably went to school for journalism.
I want to be clear. In the last
he was on the
5
Young
years,
Turks where he pretended to be a dude, bro. That's journalism.
Wiz, in the last 5 years, I've watched about 12 consecutive minutes of Hasan content. I truly know almost nothing.
That's
about
why
the way
you
that he
don't
engages.
freaking know about him, man.
I don't know him. I didn't realize he thinks he's a journalist. This is insane. I don't even watch people react to Hasan. Is that really how bad? I'm getting blackpilled. I didn't realize it was this bad. I thought Hasan was a bit smarter. I really did. What's going on? Am I crazy?
Okay. There's something important about Hasan as well. He did, I think at least, I think he used to be smarter. He's gone through that like child logic pipeline of like used to do quite a nuanced thing, and now has just become what his audience demands him to be. Yeah,
right.
He's just followed the money.
Yeah, I guess and
the money's like, do all this shit, dude.
It's like a billionaire, right? Like a billionaire. In fact, this even ties into the Mr. Beast.
It's efficiencies as well. It's why Twitter is the best way to get information. It's a constant flow and pump out of content.
Yeah,
you know?
That's fair. But
there's
also,
a bigger dopamine hit to a tweet than reading a Wikipedia article.
I mean, this is pretty basic about meritocracy, but like once you ascend to the top of the hierarchy, you know, top of Twitch, top of being a billionaire, top of YouTube, whatever it might be, like the ideas you have and the things you do become good by virtue of you being at the top of the hierarchy. So like anything that Hasan does is successful because Hasan is successful, and he'll just continue getting all the views he gets because he's already done the things that he required to become successful. So it's this weird like retroactive logic where everything you do ends up kind of laundered by your existing success in a way that doesn't require you to do anything new and impressive.
He's stuck in a wee feedback loop as well.
Yeah, which is I think has definitely happened to Hasan, has definitely happened to people like Vosh, even people. But then I look at like Mr. Beast actually, and Mr. Beast hasn't stopped. Like he is continuously innovating. Because I don't think his fixation is on comfort or money. His fixation is on something quite a bit darker. I think he just, well, we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Whoa.
Ken Klippenstein's phenomenal coverage, specifically on, and then of course we're looking at memes too, but specifically on the American State Department refusing to acknowledge the Palestinian statehood. That's how news coverage works. You are hyper focusing on the aesthetics. The joke about being a Wikipedia streamer is that when you learn about an issue, you shouldn't make up your mind before you know all the details and then go to Wikipedia, cram a bunch of Adderall and like read through Wikipedia pages to pick apart a couple quotes that you think will defend your position. That's what we make jokes on when we talk about.
Okay. The Wikipedia warrior shit really fucking pisses me off because the way that I have seen, look, I truly had greater faith in academia, but to be honest, I've been in academia to some extent. I have a partner who is deep in academia, and you know what, Wiz? They're just as incompetent as anyone else. Like, I think one thing you learn as you grow older, I know everyone in fucking chat is 20, but as a based millennial, okay, the thing I learned a few years ago was that the average person in any organization is kind of incompetent. Like, they're not that impressive. They're good at a couple things. Broadly speaking, they're not brilliant at what they're doing. Now, it's not because everyone sucks. It's because ultimately, like, what are you doing every day? You're just surviving to get a paycheck, mostly. It's true in corporate, it's true in government, it's true in academia. And I think that a lot of these academics are just kind of regular working people who aren't invested in winning in, like, a marketplace of ideas, or aren't invested in, like, you know, trying to own people in the way that Destiny does. Destiny's hyper-optimized for winning debates in this kind of structure. Instead, they're invested in reading books and learning and writing papers, and maybe those papers are good sometimes and maybe those papers are bad sometimes, but just by virtue of you having read books for 40 years doesn't make you actually that much better about something. It can even make you worse in some aspects because you could become inflexible. I remember you know, when I did my first conference as a psychology for my psychology research, my paper, one of a couple of papers that I have published.
I was hoping to be more in one than paper, otherwise it'd be very short.
It was digital, Wiz. It was digital. Your joke doesn't work.
So it was
and I hate
short.
you.
Okay.
I will paper cut you. Anyway, I renamed, I used like modern terminology for the field that I was studying, and this old guy comes up to me at the conference and he starts screaming at me. He's like, "This shit isn't how this works! I've been in the field for 35 years! What is this? You're using the wrong term for my field! I came up with it!" And he screams at me. I just remember looking at my like my supervisor, and he was just staring at me and just kind of like shrunk back, and he was like, "You're kind of on your own, dude," and he just kind of disappeared. I'm standing there getting spat at by this fucking old freak who's been in this one domain for like 35 years in psychology because some random student just basically started using a different term. And it was in that moment that I decided that I was going to embrace capitalism and become rich instead of being an academic. I was like,
Saving
you know
the
what,
world,
this is yeah, instead of saving the world, I was gonna
That was the divergence point for your dark timeline.
True. And now I have the beanie. I have the Tim Pool beanie. And I started smoking. Those are the two things. This was me. Check me out in the non-dark timeline.
Smoking.
This is me. This is me in the positive, in the bright timeline, and this is me in the dark timeline. Look at the difference. I'm like Britta from Community, you know, the blue streak in her hair.
Chat,
It's
unrelated, but please tell me your thoughts on whether or not smoking is vegan.
It's definitely vegan. It's just bad. Mostly for you. I'll smoke you, motherfucker. Chick. Oh wait, I pressed the wrong button. I turned into a snail. That's embarrassing.
No.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me try that again. Chick. There we go. Chick. Yeah.
Oh my god, you got a gun.
I've got a gun, and I'm not afraid to use it.
About someone being a wiki streamer, but of course, if you want,
What is this editing style of duplicating? Why is this happening, Wiz? Why is this editor duplicating? Do you want to try this? Is this YouTube optimization? Wait, am I doing it? Am I duplicating it? Am I doing something wrong?
or demand that kind
Have I done something wrong?
Duplicating.
What have I?
Yeah, I think you've done something wrong.
How have I done this wrong? This doesn't make sense.
You got two windows open there. I can see two X's.
But that's impossible. Wait, let me see. Maybe I have got it wrong. Oh no. I was like, what is this? I'm so confused. What is this?
New meta.
New meta.
Double up.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Avoid copyright on your own content.
There you go. Wait, why do I have two videos up? What's going on here? Window capture? Is it this? Oh.
Dude, you're so incisive.
That's wrong. YouTube pop-in? Is that what I want? No. What was that? I'm so confused, bro. I'm so confused. Oh, I scuffed it, dude. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
We want the big one. Okay, so we remove this. This one we remove?
Uh-oh.
Yes, okay, cool. Alright, we're max size now. Never mind. I was like, what is Hasan's editor doing? It was me. It was me again. I fucked it up again.
of confirmation bias, you probably are in it just simply for winning an argument on the aesthetic grounds in general. Unfortunately, as it stands, Twitter has become a right-wing hole, and it's becoming increasingly less valuable as a source.
My president, Nicholas J. Fuentes, has been unbanned from Twitter. We should probably do a video about him soon, because I truly do believe he's going to be president in 10 years. I think I'm so right about this. I'm so right about this. I've been saying this for like 2 years. I think I'm the most correct I've ever been about this take. Nick Fuentes will be running for president in 10 years and has a non-zero chance of winning. A fairly respectable chance of winning. I think he might get the Republican nomination.
For real journalism, but you know, until it completely crashes and burns, I'm probably still going to use it as a part of my work. But do not believe those who come in here or who tell you that all I do is read Twitter threads. They're coping. The Twitter threads that I'm reading are from journalists and analysts who I trust. Okay, there's a difference. Journalists and analysts who I trust are breaking
threads.
Yeah, it's still Twitter.
It doesn't matter who wrote the tweet. It's still a Twitter thread. Am I crazy? Am I going crazy?
No, I part of the issue is that not only is he going to be looking at the Twitter thread, like the post itself, the thing is, his implication here is that these journalists are basically just posting like their journalistic articles on Twitter and like he's reading them there. But he's taking what he's basically admitting to is that he takes the headline pieces of information from what these journalists are posting, and then probably also scans the Twitter thread for, like, the commentary on top of it.
Their stories on Twitter still. When someone goes to Wikipedia after they made up their mind on genocide and then look for quotes, like quote mine Wikipedia so they can like craft a narrative with post hoc rationalizations on why that genocide is actually good, you know, you're not going to be able to develop a cohesive narrative. You literally made factual mistakes multiple times during the Lex Fridman debate because...
Okay, wait, hold on. So, wait, D literally made factual mistakes multiple times during the Lex Friedman debate because of his Wikipedia education. Accept it and move on. Urge him to read a book or some original sources instead of complaining. I would love to know what the factual mistakes were, because Destiny did make a couple of errors, but they weren't massive. And also, Norman Finkelstein also made errors, so it's not like it wasn't both ways. I think it's actually perfectly reasonable and acceptable. Debate. Yeah, it was messy on both sides. I think it's super okay to make factual errors. I don't have a problem with that. As long as you don't have the ego to dismiss.
I mean, I get you, but at that level, you'd expect a little bit fucking better, wouldn't you? Maybe not from Destiny, but from Finkelstein, you expect a little bit fucking better.
Yeah, and I think part of the interesting, you know what? I do think in some ways. Look, I actually exciting stuff. I'm actually not a Destiny fan, okay? But I do think there's one thing he does well.
Cope.
Shut the fuck up. I do think there's one thing he does well. Well, actually, no. Let me rephrase that. It's not that he does it well. It's that he's basically cultivated an incentive that has some benefits over the existing incentive, right? The incentive for Norm Finkelstein, as an academic in his field, is to read a bunch of shit, write massive treatises on garbage, and, like, get into letter wars with other academics, right? And it's not really about being right. It's about kind of bludgeoning people into, like, accepting your position, right? You don't actually need to be logically concrete, because if you see the way academics argue with each other, they're just quoting shit at each other back and forth without actually having, like, steps of, like, intuitive logic on top of it. Whereas Destiny's whole thing, his whole goal is just to take the most defensible position possible. Now, that position is not always the most moral position. It's also not always the correct position, but it is the most defensible position. And that does actually lead you to better outcomes, somewhat in the same way that, like, a democracy requiring popular support for a party doesn't necessarily remove all of the problems, but is better than just fascism, you know? Like, it has some benefits as an incentive over the other. Like, the incentive that Destiny follows is going to lead you to the correct conclusion more often than the incentive that I think these academics often have. Because Norm Finkelstein cannot change his position ever. Destiny has changed his position repeatedly to go with the flow of whatever position, whatever argument is easiest for him to defend and win. It's still a toxic incentive, but it's a better toxic incentive than Finkelstein's.
Instead of complaining. Exactly.
Doesn't that just represent the status quo then? He'll always end up representing the status quo. And that's fine while the status quo is, like, relatively normal. But what happens if someone like Destiny or that mentality is, like, launched in a regime like Argentina, right? We were looking at Malay the other day. What does Destiny represent if he lives within Argentina?
Well, but I don't think that's the thing. Destiny critiques his own side because he just wants the most defensible position, right? Like, every time you see him argue between two extremists on, like, Israel-Palestine, like he did, you know, with Ben Shapiro and he did in that conversation with Norm Finkelstein, is he's able to critique both sides. Because critiquing your own side, eating the bullet yourself and, like, saying, hey, this is a problem on my side, helps you win arguments. It's better than doing the other thing. In terms of the audience he's trying to cultivate, it actually is better for you to admit to the faults on your own side because it makes it harder for other people to critique them, which is good. It enhances transparency. Like, that's a better system. That's how I operate. I will take L's on the left all the fucking time because it's easier to defend my own positions and I think explain things better when you explain how your side is getting things wrong instead of when you just blindly support it constantly like Hasan does or like you do, you fucking hack.
Wow. I've never blindly supported Bionicles. My eyes are open.
I'll jab you in the eyes with Bionicles. You're conflating an academic opinion with Finkelstein's academically inspired spectacle. Sure, I'm saying that Finkelstein represents a negative incentive and he's a good example. Obviously, it's possible to do good work as an academic. I'm saying that the incentives of academia can easily result in someone like Finkelstein who holds a lot of sway over the debate without actually contributing much meaningful to the debate.
I don't think Destiny even chooses the most defensible position either.
Oh, he absolutely does. You're coping.
No, because he do a lot more work.
That's all he cares about. What?
They do a lot more work. Like, I don't think Destiny is so much for care of absolute truth. You know,
I never said truth. I never said truth. I never said truth.
Yeah, but that's the truth. The truth is the most defensible position.
Incorrect.
It's very,
Incorrect.
very core.
No, absolutely not. I direct your attention to Balenciaga, a fucking event that I was extremely correct on. Everything I said was true. Everything other people said was false. or a lot of shit that other people said was false or inferential bullshit, and it was incredibly hard to defend. It would have been much easier if I was a Chud Logic hack. I would have just fucking, you know, I would have just gone with the fucking flow, because it was very hard to defend that. It's very hard to defend a lot of the excesses of leftism in ways that actually are like worth defending.
But the truth of the truth of Balenciaga is it was optically bad. That is one of the truths.
Yes, but that's not a truth. That's an aesthetic. What? No one said it was optically bad. They said it was bad because it was optically bad. I give you another example. Destiny's position on transgenderism. He adopts what is the most defensible position, and has said in his own. He's admitted, quite frankly, that he's unwilling to defend some of the excesses of trans stuff, even if he agrees with it, because it's just a difficult position to hold against conservatives. He's willing to let the trans sports debate or the fucking, I don't know, drag queen story hour or whatever stuff kind of fall apart because he's unwilling to defend things that he doesn't feel are necessary to defend. Even if he does think they're fine and doesn't give a shit about them, he won't take the positions on them because they make it harder for him to defend generally leftism, or I guess, sorry, liberalism.
I don't think that's actually what you do then, because you create arguments. You don't just defend the easiest position.
I think Destiny does. Well, no, that's yes, I agree. The distinction between
I would say
Destiny,
the whole not backing up the more extreme trans stuff. That just, to me, that just means he hasn't got a strong enough argument for it.
Dishek says, sounds like Destiny's a weak ass. Yeah, that is my position. I think that he's like me, except a coward. In some respects, like I am the real Destiny. No, but I think that genuinely, I do the, now obviously I'm smaller and also I invest less time in this, so it's different. But yeah, I mean, I think that I take positions that are optically more difficult to defend and therefore require more skill or more nuance in communication to defend. And I don't always win, sometimes by taking on the harder difficulty, I probably come across wrong to certain segments of the population. I think that Destiny is much easier to appeal, finds it much easier to appeal to people like Chud Logic's audience than I do, right? Because he's willing to take much more, much less optically toxic positions on a variety of issues.
They don't, because he's got situations with women and drama. They'll never like him.
But they like how he mistreats women, okay? They love it. I love people throwing trans people under the bus for some vague idea of leftism. Yeah, it's easier to do. It's convenient.
Here's Dharma's whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. I'm just like Destiny, but I'm not a coward. I love you. Fuck you. Don't quote me in my own chat. But yeah, Violent Smoker, when I say correct, when I say right, I mean morally right. Okay, when I say correct, I mean truthful. And who he's appealing to? He's appealing to people who have some amount. I would say Destiny's. What was it? I think the best way. Let me think for a second. I think who Destiny's trying to appeal to is midwits with mild critical thinking skills. Not a lot of critical thinking, but enough that they that logic appeals to them. An argument presented to them is appealing to them. I think most of them. Look at the way that Andrew Tate and all the right wing have kind of cultivated their fan bases. Don't forget that even though they're wrong about everything, they really fetishize the idea of debate. They really fetishize this idea of rationality and male logic and red pill, seeing through the facade, not buying into women logic shit, right? Andrew Tate debates stuff, right? Even if he's not having debates with people, which he, by the way, does do debates with people, but even when he hasn't done that, the way he frames his videos as arguments, right? Stacking arguments on arguments on arguments is all logical. It all just makes sense. It's all logical, right? They all do this shit because they're appealing to male rationality. So midwits with mild critical thinking. That's what I would say Destiny's audience is.
If you want your favorite intellectual giant,
hey, we're 3 minutes into this video, Wiz. All right, buckle up.
Powerful.
To be better as a debater, I guess, if that's all you care about, if all you care about is a blood sport, which I don't, but if you only care about that sort of thing, you should probably urge him to do more reading on actual books. He literally doesn't believe that people even sit down and read books, which I think is pretty funny. Anyway, that's not.
Whoa.
He
doesn't believe people read books.
You know what? As a book reader, I'm going to come out against reading books, okay? I actually do read a lot. I've got a stack of books, all right? I'm a big book guy. But you know what? One, I read very fast, much faster than most people. And honestly, even though I do read a lot, 95% of the time I'll read a whole book and I'll think I probably could have I could have got the most important ideas out of this much faster. You know, it's the 80-20 rule. I feel like I could have spent 20% of the effort just like looking up stuff about the book. Or like, oh fuck, you know what really sucks is that like I tried doing this on a few books I've read. I would like go to ChatGPT and I'll ask it to summarize key points and ask it a couple questions, and genuinely I'll get like 80% of the value of the book from fucking ChatGPT's condensation of it, which is really fucking sad. But there's a
hard disagree, dude. Yeah. Hard disagree. I'm currently reading Galaxy in Flames by Ben Counter, and it's fucking awesome.
No one cares about fiction.
It's fucking awesome.
No one cares about fiction. Lame.
The heresy, the Horus heresy has begun.
Oh my god. Your mum is a Horus heresy. Nailed it.
What I'm doing here, obviously, what I'm doing is like news coverage and political commentary.
Oh my god, I can't believe that Hasan really thinks this highly of himself. At least me and you admit that we're doing slop.
Done the book reading beforehand, considering that I've been covering this issue for 10 years and didn't decide to take a stance after October 7 on the genocide side.
I also think it's super valuable. I do to like go fucking read up on an issue in Wikipedia and then start arguing with people about it. I think it's actually a good way to educate yourself. I think you learn faster by arguing with people about things than not. You know, I do this every day. Like at work, you know, when we're trying to get to a solution, I'll take a very strong stance on something and I'm happy to change it later. But like by taking a strong stance, other people have to work harder to debunk you, and vice versa, right? Like you end up like making both ideas stronger.
What's that saying that's like the quickest way to find something out on the internet is to say the wrong thing?
Exactly. I really do think that if you approach it from that perspective, you can make it work quite well.
Yeah, asshole maxing it's called.
I am now I am now Hasan simp. Wow, the exact opposite of our intent. Amazing. Fuck.
Or your intent maybe.
Oh.
That's it. I feel like it is genuinely scary that there are entire groups of people online who fancy themselves to be like intellectually curious people whose morality is so completely out of whack, who then do think that they are actually doing the work of educating themselves by simply quote mining Wikipedia to like present an argument that you would.
It's so annoying to me because quote mining Wikipedia is genuinely better than quote mining Twitter. Unironically, like Wikipedia has such better systems for like getting towards truth than Twitter does. It's insane to me that he's saying, but he's unironically taking the position that Twitter is a better source of information up front.
I think he's arguing from a place that Twitter isn't that. So he's saying you can't quote mine from Twitter because he's quote mining from specific journalists on Twitter. Yeah, so his argument is he's getting it straight from the source.
Yeah, but how do you...
He's saying Wikipedia is one layer removed, which is dumb because like it's not published on Twitter. It's different when you have it peer-reviewed and like basically what he's arguing against is the idea of peer-reviewed basically. Evidence, you know? Well, I wouldn't use Wikipedia either. You wouldn't have.
Yeah, I would. What do you mean you wouldn't? What do you mean? You have Wikipedia.
I get any conclusions I draw from journal articles.
Insane. Hold on. Wikipedia is peer-reviewed in the sense that you have an open source of citations.
It's community reviewed. They're not peers. They're not peers.
It's open source, bro. You can see every single change that was made. You can disagree with
community review is not the same thing. Because then you could argue it's the same as like Twitter, where it's like the more likes it has, the more community reviewed.
That's not how. But Wikipedia is not likes based. Wikipedia is based on a very firm framework and structure that you have to adhere to.
But there is no one enforcing that framework and structure. It's just upheld.
Yo, there is. What do you mean? There's no one. Have you seen Wikipedia?
There's like a code of ethics, but there's no body of knowledge.
Bro, there is such a Wikipedia has such
there's not an elected panel of admins.
Bro, Wikipedia might be one of the best demonstrations of like anarchist commune style like enforcement of any organization. It's crazy, dude. Like obviously it has problems. Like obviously there are only like 1,000 people who do the vast majority of the work on Wikipedia voluntarily for the most part. So I guess some of them get paid now. But like they do absolutely. There is like a review system. There is a panel system to some extent.
Do you want to know the funniest Wikipedia story I ever heard? So you know how like Scots saw language, and you know how they do like language packs for Wikipedia where they translate, like it'll be one guy's job to translate like thousands of articles. Right. So for the longest time, there was one user basically doing all the Scots translations for every single Wikipedia article, and they'd done something crazy, like I think it was like 50,000 articles or something like that, right? And it was found out that they were a 16-year-old from America that was just fucking making it up, like typing in "okay" the new translations. And for like,
that's why Wikipedia is based.
yeah, but it was just completely wrong, completely made up in a fake language that this kid acted like it was real, and it wasn't caught for like, I want to say like 5 years.
Yeah, look, stuff slips through the cracks. I'm not going to deny that. Wikipedia's not perfect, but it's a very good institution for one that's open source, non-profit, and has actually, like, provided... It's like the last thing on the internet that hasn't been in shitified, honestly. It's like, it's crazy. Like, it might be the very last bastion of a thing, like, maintaining its quality for the majority of its lifespan on the internet. Like, capitalism...
Yeah, and it's about 2 scandals away from dying completely and being destroyed.
I agree. Like, it's very fragile. It's
all
crazy
it needs
that it's
to do
lasted
is
this
be
long.
banned in one country. One country needs to ban it, one big country, and then it's over.
It proves that community review works. 5 years, that's a drop in the bucket. What do you mean? Like, I think that it does work. It obviously works because everyone's using fucking Wikipedia. Like, Wikipedia's rate of misinformation is still pretty low, especially compared to like Twitter.
Here's another thing as well. This is why it was so damaging, the 5 years. So a lot of that was cited and used by actual people that were like cultivating the Scots language, and it basically has done irreparable damage to records of Scots.
That's crazy.
Because it was taken as a native speaker was speaking it, and because it was all implemented back again, it's done irreparable damage to the language. It's not good.
That's a terrible shame. The solution to that, obviously, is to invest more resources in this thing and to try and cultivate like a more diverse, broad user base and contributor
the problem
base,
is it's reckless, right? It's reckless. It can do reckless things like that, you know?
Sure.
Like, it's even if it's a mistake and it's rectified afterwards, because it wasn't peer reviewed before it was published, suddenly like millions of people can start believing X about a topic because it was published somewhere
and it's a shame
they didn't check the sources properly.
And it's a shame that happened.
And that's what sticks, you know?
Yes,
like
but Wiz, it's a shame that happened to something close to your heart, but can you name a system that isn't going to have a 1% fail rate in that sense? Not really. It doesn't matter what structure.
It's more a case of accountability, right? It's harder to get good accountability on Wikipedia.
I mean, do you want to ruin that 16-year-old's life for doing damage to the Scottish language? Oh no.
I think it's more a case of Wikipedia should be should compensate that because it's their platform.
Well, how do you compensate the Scottish language, you know?
Oh, you can donate to heritage societies. That's absolutely
that's not going to
possible.
fix the problem. I think the way you fix the problem is you hire you put together like a team. You know, someone should do like if they care, someone should put together, like, again, this being an open source and non-profit, like someone should put together a task force for like repairing the damage, right? You go out and you bring in some actual like Scottish academic scholars, language scholars, whatever, and you like ask a university to sponsor a program to like go back and basically fix the damage that was done. And you can still do that while being an open source and non-profit, you know?
No, Cheeto, it wasn't the Scots Wikipedia. I'm pretty sure it was the Scots language package on Wikipedia.
Anyway.
So this person was translating other articles into Scots.
Anyway, Wikipedia is very good. I think it's better to start your positions from Wikipedia than probably anywhere else on the internet. And then you can, like, kind of add to it. But it's a good place to get a broad understanding of a debate.
Able to use on someone who is not very knowledgeable. But when you actually go against someone who is knowledgeable and stubborn and a bit of a piece of shit, really, in how stubborn they are, well, you see how intellectually outmatched you are in that circumstance. He mauled it all.
And when did this happen? Because Finkelstein fumbled so fucking hard. Oh god, the cope here, dude, is crazy.
The way through he mauled it all the way through Iced Coffee podcast yesterday and couldn't even demonstrate listening comprehension enough to actually address anything you said. How the do you expect him to read a book? Yeah, that's the beautiful part about it. The beautiful part about it is that it's never about addressing arguments. Obviously, like when
address an argument, then, you fucking freak! Ah! He hasn't addressed any argument. Let's see if we get to an argument. Maybe we'll get to an argument. Maybe an argument will happen.
No,
I also engage in the petty slinging myself. I say, oh yeah, Mr. Bonarelli, Mr. Bonarcelli, like that. But ultimately, it is the issue. The issue I take with him is not that he's like a wormy little piece of shit and just an overall scumbag with zero real friends, specifically because he's just awful to be around. The real issue I take with him is his political worldview and how he is a permanent contrarian and a debate mercenary, basically. and overall just like a hateful person who has developed a very hateful audience that thrives on toxicity and drama, that operates exactly like 4chan poll way back in the day. And it's
what? I'm sorry, as someone who actually grew up on poll, what is he talking about? What the fuck?
I mean, not necessarily specifically Destiny community, but there's a lot of splinter servers from DGG that are like that. But that's not quite fair to say.
But most
like,
of those
DGG
splinter servers
like
are kind of anti-Destiny. Like they mold at the fact that he's not actually as schizo as they are. They want the schizo crumbs. You know, they
yeah, I wouldn't personally blame Destiny for that, but there absolutely is like a spawning effect from like such a large community.
Yeah. Goldfish, yeah, I think he's focus grouping Debate Mercenary, because Debate Pedophile has fallen off pretty hard. Debate Pervert isn't hitting the way it used to. Debate Mercenary, because it's crazy, because it doesn't make any fucking sense, right? Like, Debate Mercenary, who is paying Destiny to take a position? Like, is Hasan actually unironically endorsing the meme of, like, there are Jews paying Destiny to take a position? Like, what the fuck is the implication of Debate Mercenary, if not that he's getting paid to take a pro-Zionist position? Isn't that a little bit recklessly anti-Semitic? Doesn't that kind of play into some of the memes a little bit too close for comfort? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Additionally gross that he presents himself as like a somewhat progressive person because he dukes on even dumber red pill idiots and
even dumber red pill idiots. So Destiny's red pill that, like, what? Just be accurate. If you want to, I also want to kill Destiny.
Don't you know he was on Fresh and Fit, dude?
I have dunked on Destiny before. I've beaten him in a debate because he was less powerful than me. All right. Holy shit. I can't believe that. Like, it just be accurate and you'll win. Oh, it's not that hard. It's I would say it's above average difficulty to beat Destiny in a debate, all right? It's not easy, but it's not that hard. Like, you just have to not fuck it, like, just be correct. Have your shit be accurate. Oh, you just want it more? Just have to want it more?
Just know more. Just know more, want it more.
He was talking about the vibes of opinions on discourse, or the far reaches the milieu of person who has opinions. There are so many layers of indirection that it becomes meaninglessly abstract. Oh, right. I think Angry Knees is saying that basically, yeah, right, okay. So, like, because Hasan won't directly address anything, that it just becomes like layers upon layers of shadow boxing, where they get more and more distance from each other and never actually engage with anything the other person says. Yeah. But the difference is that the difference is that, once again, Destiny wants to take the most defensible position. The best way to take a defensible position is to be correct and truthful to the maximum possible extent you can in the way that supports your position, and to take on the critical aspects that go against your position, because if you can wield them better than your opponent, then your opponent is going to look like a fucking hack fraud. But Hasan doesn't do this. He just wants to like, I don't know, amorphously blob over with his larger audience Destiny's positions without ever having to actually engage with them directly. Like, oh god, we're just not going to get any fucking...
And all of a sudden people are like, oh yeah, he's progressive, he killed this like red pillar. Of course he did. Those guys are morons. That doesn't change the reality that like he does not have any real convictions at all. I think that many of that community has found that like they can do the same exact edgy Nazi memes and even have some of those edgy Nazi convictions, but as long as they call themselves progressive, then they can get away with it. Why would I care about the opinion of someone who can argue for or against anything just for the sake of it? Well, it probably feels good. Think about it this way. Divorcelli, when he debates a person who you despise and you hate and ritualistically humiliates them thoroughly, you like that. That's it. You feel good because he's embarrassed someone that you despise. And there are good talking points that he's utilized in that debate that you can use as well. That's precisely how he brings a lot of people in. He does this very well against anti-vaxxers. He does this very well against red pillars and like the MRA side of the world. But overall, these are not actually firmly held convictions. None of it is really. He might personally care about some of these issues, sure, but overall his worldview is just like, I thrive in drama, I thrive.
Oh god,
what
okay,
does he
Hasan,
want? What does Hasan want from Destiny?
So Hasan, so this is so telling, right? So first of all, Hasan is fairly accurate here. Like, I do think he's missing a piece, which is like my democracy argument earlier, right? The idea is, if you can argue something back and forth, if it can survive a debate, it's just by like evolutionary selection, it's more likely to be correct than something that can't survive a debate. Now, that's not always true, but on average, an idea that is battle testable, can survive a debate, is probably going to be better than one that doesn't survive a debate. Okay, that's number one. But also, you're right. Like, what the fuck is Hasan saying here? He's basically saying you have to hold a position, you have to hold conviction for a position. And then the quiet part is, I guess, regardless of the evidence. Like, he says, "Oh, Destiny is only anti-vax because that's the you know that." What? I mean, the implication is that because look, it could be totally possible. We live in a capitalist hellscape, Hasan. It's very possible that a big pharma company could be giving out vaccines that are extremely dangerous, you know, just to get a pile of money, and would be, you know, hiding the danger of the vaccines. It's entirely possible. It hasn't happened, really, but it's entirely possible to happen. It's happened in other medications for sure, right? In that situation, would you just support a pro-vax position just because your conviction is generally pro-vax? No! Obviously not. You have a more important foundational idea below that, which is that people shouldn't die in order for people to make profit, right? Like, what the fuck? It would be like saying that I have a pro-pharma position regardless of how many, I don't know, opiate painkillers they're pushing and how much damage that's doing to society. Like, oh my god, what the fuck? It's just pure conviction with no, like, you just have to hold the position because I guess that's the position that your side holds? It's insane. I'm not allowed to ask questions, Smug. Yeah, fucking hell.
By stirring, and ultimately all you need to know is this: you can sometimes understand who a man is and what they believe by who they choose to represent themselves as an enemy of. For someone like Divorcelli, his major enemies are not really Nazis. A lot of people in his community will say, "Oh, he."
Wiz, who's my major enemy?
Me.
See? There you go. That's how you know that I'm on the level, all right? Because my major enemy is a slimy, disgusting. Wait. Fuck! I fell off my
Got
roof.
him, dude.
Fuck.
Got him.
You're the fucking Nazi. Fuck you.
Oh yeah, tell me your thoughts on eugenics.
Back against the wall, frog. Go. Turn around.
Nah.
Turn around.
Nah.
Back against the wall. Do it.
Nah.
Do it.
Nah, bro.
Do it now. Ha. Face that wall. Yeah.
Magic's way more powerful, dude. I turned your bullets into bubbles.
Uh-huh. Alright. This time you live. Just this time. Because I need someone to edit this video. I need someone to edit out the biological.
Debates Nazis all the time. His treatment of Nazis and far-right individuals and right-wing individuals across the board is infinitely better than his treatment of those who are actually a part of the left.
About glossing over the part that's relevant to him. I don't. Wait, what? Did I gloss over? Oh no, what did I gloss? What did I gloss? What am I glossing?
Dude, I'm fully glossed. I'm glossed up.
You just hate politics.
Man is and what they believe by who they choose to represent.
You're right, it's just drama. But maybe politics will happen. Let's see.
Present themselves
this is like
enemy of. For someone like Divorce.
This is like drama.
You like the theory. It's like drama theory. You like the theory of drama.
do like.
It's like drama about debate
true.
theory.
That is true. I do like debate theory. I do like drama theory. That's true. That's true. I think it's valuable. I think it's useful. I think it's valid. Like relationship theory.
Well, he said, what about the mechanisms of our existence?
Exactly. I show you the truth, the gears behind society. All right. I'm teaching you so much.
Whoa.
For what it's worth, I've never second monitored you, and Bill, that's why you're my favorite.
Wait, that's because he's got 3 monitors, dude.
No, I'm third monitor content now. I'm phone like leaning against the keyboard while you've got 3 monitors doing other stuff content. That's where we're at right now. Trick people into listening to theory by making it drama. That's honestly all I want. First monitor at work content. Yeah, first monitor out loud at work. No headphones, first monitor content at work. Hey everyone in the office! This guy's watching the most based fucking channel in the world! Subscribe to Smugmug HD right now! Open office plan, workers, wages, peons! Subscribe! There you go. We probably got
if you're
like
watching this later, different channel name.
Different channel name. Yes, maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Selly, his major enemies are not really Nazis. A lot of people in his community will say, "Oh, he debates Nazis all the time." His treatment of Nazis and far-right individuals and right-wing individuals across the board is infinitely better than his treatment of those who are actually a part of the left. That's it. That's all you need to know.
With kindness, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but unironically, dude.
You get more honeys being sweet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if I know that someone has... Yeah, I'm way meaner to leftists than I am to Nazis, 100%. Because, like, leftists already have the correct convictions for the most part, and I'm mad that they're fucking up my side, right? They're on my team and they're doing a bad job, so I can scream at them because we're already on the same side. Nazis, if I'm trying to convince them or their audience, then yeah, I'm going to be way nicer. How does Hasan not recognize it? Oh, it's because Hasan isn't actually interested in making any material change. He's just interested in the aesthetics. Yeah, that's why. Because he doesn't actually want to convert anyone. He thinks they're all immutably evil. Yep.
Who do you think has more power in this country, especially as Donald Trump was the president? Genuine out and about white supremacists and white supremacist ideology, or a bunch of trans people that offended you online? Like random trans people that work.
Okay, so who are you going to... How are you going to beat them? How are you going to beat them, Hasan? How? Huh? You can tell us? You can tell us?
At Safeway and Costco.
Oh no, a fucking Taftage thumbnail. Oh dear. We should get her back on the show. The debates I had with her were fun.
Does Taftage still do the thing?
Roughly, yeah. She's still fairly active. I see her on Twitter a lot. She's still a trans doomer, but she's still also a schizo ANCAP, and that's really fun and interesting.
She's still trans. She's still trans.
She's still trans. Yep, she's still trans, and she still hates trans people, especially herself. Because well, unfortunately, she's the most mentally ill trans person, and she's very interesting and intelligent, and also has incredible mental health issues that really hold back her ability to analyze trans stuff objectively. It's rough. It's rough out there.
Whoa.
Who are just like posting trans memes. Who do you think actually has the power? Right-wingers think it is the trans person. So if you do hyper-focus on random lefties online that you personally feel are disgusting, then yeah, I'm going to go ahead and assume that maybe you're not all that progressive. He said support of Palestinians need to die. What is this?
Palestinians don't have like some national autonomy or authority there. They were just a state within the Ottoman Empire, and like those ethnic people were just roughly allowed to live there. If you have any idea as to how this mess will end, my guess is Israel is going to attack the Gaza Strip. There's probably going to be a fair amount of damage, and in 3 weeks, maybe, or 2 weeks, all of us are going to forget about this and move on to the next thing. People are conflating the baby with a 40.
He did such a wait. What? He was so right, dude.
And in 3 weeks, maybe, or 2 weeks, all of us are going to forget about this and move on to the next thing. People are conflating the baby with the 40 babies, and it's not like every single baby was. Why can't these other Arab states take in their brothers? Where are our Arab brothers?
Why do we care about this loser? I would say that he's probably one of the more prominent pro-Israel voices in general, especially online. Obviously, he's not one of the most prominent voices for Israel on mainstream media, but he definitely is. An orbiter yesterday was crying.
I mean, am I going to mention Hasan's previous success rate with predictions? Like, I don't know. Russia's not gonna invade Ukraine. I'm just saying. Look, I think it's okay to get predictions wrong as well, right? Like, I make a lot of predictions and I'm never wrong, but eventually I will be. Just statistically, it's inevitable.
Predictions like, we're gonna stream together, it's gonna be super successful, each video will get 1 million views.
When did I say that? I specifically have only referred to the content as, quote, slop. So I don't think, I really don't think, I think I've been very clear about the success rate of this channel. Like and subscribe. I've been very clear. All right. But look, we're pretty close to getting monetized. We're only like, what, 30 subscribers away?
Yeah,
before
subscribe
you guys can
if you
give
haven't
us
already.
money.
I imagine you all have subscribed, but
Yes.
YouTube video watchers, you guys need to subscribe. Please, thank you. I love you.
Wiz is tiptoeing, tightrope walking along the line of fiscal calamity. So please do subscribe so that we can monetize.
Dunking my balls into the red, dude.
He can start making money because this man is so deep in the red right now. He is basically in hell.
Yeah.
Talking about your gun tweet and was having a hard time.
Studio.
That was a terrible idea. Yeah. You just wanted to start the streamer house early. I told you that was a bad idea. Poverty go brrr.
Ignoring Bonarelli saying that he is pro-genocide. He pretty much came with her son, wasn't joking, even though you said it was a joke and Bonarelli really was joking. Yeah, I know.
To host their other brothers and sisters. She reposted AI content of Israeli babies, claiming it was real. That is not true. Those pictures were real. Anybody claiming that it's AI babies is lying. That is not true. Yeah, I don't know. I should look into this. I should do, once I get home, I hope it's still somewhat relevant so we can like research it. I don't think anybody in the Middle East really likes Palestinians. They seem to be pretty insane anywhere they go.
Very true.
They're not going to annex Gaza. That's not going to happen.
Okay. Well, be careful. We don't want to have you having a Hasan moment.
I'll stake a big claim on that. There is no shot that they annex it. If they did annex it, it would only be after a massive ethnic cleansing of Gazans out of the...
I like that they call it a Hasan moment in that community.
Oh, here we go. Oh, wait.
at his
Oh my god,
face
is he gonna
change.
cope this? Is he gonna cope? I like how they call it Hasan. Oh wait, hold on, I need to see this. This is gonna be good.
When you
Should we call it Destiny moment?
like he literally has a sequence of false predictions on a daily basis, but it's like everybody always talks about the Russia will not invade Ukraine moment. That's literally at this point years ago, something that I immediately
Oh no!
the
Oh no! It is exactly, yeah, it is years ago. 2 years ago. He's hit plurality. He did it. He hit plural years, and now it's far enough in the distance that no one remembers. We did it! We got multiple years away from your fuck up, and your argument now is just that it is plural years ago. Good job, buddy. Time heals all wounds. Grief really is healed over time. It's truly the most beautiful healing process is the natural one. Beautiful. Both of the two have catastrophically bad foreign policy takes. What's a bad Destiny foreign policy take? I mean, his foreign policy takes on Israel-Palestine are bad, but they're not catastrophically bad. I would say he's like
kind of mainstream. They're like political mainstream.
Yeah, I think Destiny's Israel-Palestine takes are like 30% incorrect, which pushes him over the border into being broadly pro-Israel and broadly incorrect, but he's still within 30% of correct, I would say. Which is like, honestly, it's not terrible, you know?
Well, it's just because every country on the planet has dog shit takes on Israel-Palestine,
I guess, yeah. But like, what else is he wrong about? I mean, he's pretty accurate on Russia, he's pretty accurate on China, he's pretty accurate on Ukraine. What else? I'm pro-genocide isn't very correct. Wow, is that his position? Is Destiny pro-genocide, Violent Smoker? Wow, wait. Is Destiny, if I tweet at Destiny and ask if he's pro-genocide, what's he gonna tell me? Is he gonna say yes? Is he gonna say yes, he's pro-genocide? No, dipshit. He was poorly informed on the issue, and this is the arguing, like debating a position strongly without the information necessary, and he learned, because he did change the position. He said something like, I don't see how you can do anything other than an ethnic cleansing, right? Like, I don't see how you can do anything other than, like, an ethical ethnic cleansing. That was what he said in that debate. Yeah, it's not a great position. It's not defensible. But then he changed it when he was given better arguments by, I think, Lonerbox. I think Lonerbox was the one that kind of reframed his thinking on that. So, and then he learned and changed his position. So he's not pro-genocide. He gave a bad pro-genocide take, pro-ethnic cleansing take in a debate early on in this discourse. But, like, do you want everyone to only show up with fully formed, completely correct opinions and never learn anything or change anything? Then you're no better than Hasan, who's just purely conviction-brained. You're no different to this dipshit. You need to give people enough space to be incorrect, especially when they change their position after it's been proven to them that they're incorrect. These foreign policy takes typically come off as a terminally online version of your average CNN watcher. Unfortunately, foreign policy takes are like, I guess angry news, you might even have a different goal, right? Because like foreign policy, realpolitik, right? Like if I'm American, I'm probably going to be endorsing positions that are beneficial to America because I think that America is probably going to be better positioned to do good things than most other countries, right? Like, the bad ending is if Russia takes control of Europe, or God forbid, if China takes control of, like, the world in the way that America did, right? Because China, I think, is terrifying, not because they're evil, but because their version of capitalism is actually way more stable and way better for, like, long-term geopolitical control in a way that will make material leftism much harder. America, one of the positive features from a socialist perspective is America's instability. America's less stable than China, and so it's actually better positioned for some kind of, you know, a Bernie Sanders type to get to the top. China is so sturdy in the way that it's executed capitalism that if it took control of the world, I think socialism would honestly be fucking dead for like 30 years. I'm much more scared of China as an anti-socialist system than America. I truly am. So yeah, I don't know. In that situation where you've got three powers that could fuck the world, Russia less so, between America and China, who do you want in charge of the world? Do you prefer China in charge? No? Now you have to make a bunch of decisions that are very difficult that position America as the global superpower. And that's going to involve you making some terrible decisions to, I don't know, countries in the short term, right? Like, imagine a world where as soon as if you divorce yourself from Saudi Arabia, right, from the fucking UAE or whatever, that you lose geopolitical control in the Middle East and then cede that control to China. Yes, you shouldn't. Obviously, the things they're doing are terrible, but what do you do in practice? Do you actually want to cede all that Middle Eastern control to China? They're not going to treat anyone any better. So what then? What do you do? What do you do, angry knees? Are your foreign policy takes going to be any better? Or do you just want to cede control from America? Who should be in charge of the world? No one. Well, good. Great, you've just created a power vacuum that someone is going to take. If you say girls one more time, I'm going to kill you.
You keep leaving the gap for it.
I still have the gun.
Side that is always wrong, as long as they're always wrong, but along with America's State Department, can always consistently get things wrong. It does not matter. But if you are against American propaganda,
I love how you can say basically that America's version is better because it's poorly thought out. Yeah, unfortunately, the conditions for a revolution is easy garbage, right? Like, in theory, you need a less stable system in order for revolution to be possible. I don't think revolution is possible in the West. Don't get me wrong. I think that, unfortunately, incrementalism is truly the only option. But that incrementalism still only occurs if things are unstable enough that people, broadly speaking, achieve maybe not class consciousness, but get closer to it. If they're satisfied enough with the system, or the system is sturdy enough and resilient enough against that kind of revolutionary, you know, would you rather have... Actually, I'll ask you this, Angry Knees. Would you rather have a country that has no unions whatsoever, or a country that has government-controlled unions? Which would you prefer? Because I prefer the one with no unions, because there's now no release valve for that tension between the workers and the state, and so you're going to end up with a more direct conflict than if you have state-backed unions who are essentially controlled opposition. Controlled opposition is incredibly dangerous. It's actually one of the worst things that can happen to a movement, is if they end up essentially run by, or like the main piece of it gets run, because now you have to try and not only teach people that unions are good, but you have to teach people that unions are good, except the ones that already exist. They're bad, so you have to make a new union, but you're not allowed to make a new union because you got the existing union that you already agreed to when you joined that worker cooperative. It's like, fuck, doesn't work. So things must be
like fuck, man. It's like fuck.
It's like fuck, dude. So things must be as extreme as possible just in case the pendulum swings back to mild? No, I didn't say things have to be as extreme as possible. I'm saying that stability is, by definition, less changeable than instability. Yes? So stable fascism or stable state capitalism is a worse condition for revolutionaries than unstable capitalism. Why has progress got to be a full-on revolution to be revolutionary? When did I say that? I never said that. I'm saying that the conditions for progress... Okay. If you pacify the masses, then yes, it's going to be harder to get any kind of progress. You do understand this, right? I'm not Zexizi. I'm not saying that voting is bad, and I'm not saying that you need revolutionary progress. You need a revolution to achieve progress. I'm saying the exact opposite.
Wink.
Wink, yeah. I'm not saying that you should firebomb your local post office and then graffiti fuck Starmer on the side. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you should definitely not do that.
Graffiti Starmer?
yeah. Well, here's the thing. If you say
firebomb and go like, yeah, fucking vote Starmer.
yeah. It should say fuck Starmer because that's going to be more relevant in the next 5 years.
No. I like the more pro Starmer. You firebomb
vote Starmer. That's actually based. Hold on. So you go outside.
You firebomb.
Yeah.
Like a local shop.
Me and Wiz out the night.
The Starmer revolution.
We go to it's V
These
for
fucking
Vendetta.
Starmer radicals.
Yeah, the Starmer radicals. Oh my god, that'd be great. Holy fuck! Firebombing post offices to get labor votes for Starmer. Yes.
Oh, dude.
The true enemy of progress isn't oppression; it's ennui. Yes, exactly. Right? Like if you pacify people,
the French. I knew it.
If you give them just like the French. If you give them enough stuff to keep them complacent, then yeah, right? Like you destroy any potential. And again, I am a revolutionary who has accepted the pragmatic, practical fact that a revolution is probably not possible in the West, and so it's kind of pointless to like try and organize or attempt one. Like incrementalism is unfortunately the best thing you can do. Do you know what the best thing you can do to be a revolutionary is? Get into politics at a young age because almost no one is doing it except the conservatives now, and then like fill in the civil service from the bottom up, and over the next 10-15 years, I guess hopefully we'll have control. But that's so unlikely because it takes so much organization in a way that's so unfeasible with the current structures of communication that we have access to.
The only way the Tories can do that, though, is because they have trust funds set up in their name, so they don't have a profit incentive to do it.
Yeah, and also because conservatives are more power hungry and leftists are terrified of power. Like all the anarchists.
You can do any job you want when you don't have to worry about money. That's how that works.
True. That's true. Yeah.
So
politics,
you can spend 30 years making fucking nothing until you get that fancy MP job, you know?
Yep. I think also
because all your money is in small side projects you did. Your dad's people did for you whilst you were going through the fucking gears of bureaucracy. That's how that works.
But also part of the issue is that you know, leftists find power dirty, and so like the aesthetically appealing thing to conservatives is to get into power.
Right wing.
No,
they just become labor.
The aesthetically appealing thing for right wingers is power, and leftists hate power. Like they find it gross and disgusting, and they want to avoid it. Like that's how leftists like are constantly putting the gun down because they think guns are distasteful, essentially, right? Like as an analogy for power. I'm so big brain.
If you are against the American State Department's actions, if you're against American imperialism, the one fucking prediction you get wrong, even if your analysis on it was sound, even if you were literally channeling what Zelensky was saying, it doesn't matter. It will.
Oh my god, he's actually coping so hard on this. I'm not gonna reopen the Russia-Ukraine shit. Hasan was wrong, and Zelensky was literally trying to calm things down. Not saying that a full-scale attack wouldn't happen, but that geopolitically, the communication he had to send out for a political purpose was to say it wouldn't happen, to minimize the chance of it happening, even if the chance was extremely low. Zelensky obviously thought an attack was coming, which is why he was begging for so much defensive support even before the attack happened, but then he was communicating differently to that to try and de-escalate Russia and do whatever he could possible to avoid the attack happening. That doesn't mean the attack wasn't going to happen. It just meant that he was taking the 5% shot at de-escalating. He was doing the things necessary to de-escalate, even if that was unlikely to occur. Gugh.
Repeated all the time. I like how you're so chill about this. I didn't know there was major beef until I met a D fan IRL and he was unhinged and talking shit on you. I never really heard about you talk about D until these last few months. Yes, I did not talk about Borselli
I like how you're so chill about. Yeah, Hasan's so chill right now. He seems so chill. You see how he's leaning back? He's so chill. He's so chill.
Israel. That's it. And in the beginning of October 7, I even said, as long as you are pro-Palestinian emancipation, I think that it's fine. You're on the right side of history. I even gave props to goblin porn lover Vosh for his consistent defense of Palestinians. Whoa. I don't know where he is at now or what he believes.
Wait, did the Vosh Hasan bridge burn? What happened? Calling him goblin porn?
No, he just loves
lover?
goblin porn. That's
oh, wait. No, that's
Hasan just speaks in facts. He's well researched.
All right. Yeah. He probably heard the goblin porn and identified it instantly as goblin porn. Same as the J-Dams. He's got that sensitivity for it.
Believes now. So the same for Boner Box too. I don't give a shit about this weirdos orbiters as long as they are pro-Palestinian and pro-Palestinian emancipation. That's what I care about. That's all I care about on this issue. It is wild though that like IRL in real life his fans are also bringing that exact same level of intensity to conversation to be like, I hate this random dude online on Twitter. Like this dude has despised me and stalked my with this rabbit community for the past 5 years and has every step of the way tried to make my life miserable. And even I don't talk about him in the.
Sorry?
Have you ever met a Destiny fan in real life?
Yeah, dude. Someone, one of his viewers clocked me when I debated him and won.
Whoa. One
of the guys at work is a Destiny fan, and he was like, "Is this you?" And he sent me a picture of me debating Destiny. He fucking clocked me, dude. Like it was crazy. Yeah.
I've never actually spoken to a Destiny fan in real life.
That's the only Destiny fan I know.
Him in real life.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know what Destiny fans would be like in real life.
It's bigger in America. Autistic, dude. Just autistic. That's it. It's just the autists.
Real world, you know what I mean? World, you know what I mean? Why the fuck would I ever bring him up? And I didn't for years. And the only reason why I do now is because of this Israel Defense Brigade that he does on a regular basis.
Gazan territory into Egypt or into the sea. Bro, you have an optics issue. I have an optics issue for fucking retards, okay? You can watch anything I've said on this, or you can engage with any level of what I've said on this. You can argue that I have a quote-unquote optics issue, the same way that Palestinians have an issue that their bodies are... Hold on, I almost made an unhinged comment. There weren't like a group of people there that were like, we are the state of Palestine, or there was some territory recognized as Palestine or whatever prior to the British mandate of Palestine. Israel doesn't have radical terrorist factions as part of its state or government. What do you... Yeah, everybody has been on the, like, team of no ethnic cleansing. Like, yeah, this isn't novel. Yeah, no...
Yeah, except he wasn't.
See, look, he's got the...
let's look at this very old take. Oh my god.
Oh wow, you're defending Destiny now. I can't believe Hasan is so bad at his position that he's got you defending Destiny now. That's rough, dude. That's how you know you fucked up, when Wiz is pro Destiny. God damn. The fumble.
Destiny takes. Ethnically, cleansing isn't always bad.
Yeah.
Illegal settlements is not the threshold. I just don't know what the threshold would be.
It would probably be an excess number of civilian casualties. 10,000 feels bad, 20,000 feels bad, 30,000 feels bad. If like more than like 20, 30, 40,000 people, yeah, I think that would be really, really, really bad for Israel. Once this particular incursion into the Gaza Strip stops, I think everybody goes back to not giving up again. That's my guess. A Palestinian identity is a myth.
Sorry, what was that reaction? Like, Hasan just gave like a smug like, What, like, is he implying that Destiny wants tens of thousands of people to die? What was that smug, I don't know, what was the smug nod even implying? I don't get it. That was some fucking demon mama shit right there. What the fuck was that? What are we supposed to do with that?
He's like, yeah, bro, I'm right about this guy.
Yeah.
This
The idea that there's some
no good.
Palestinian national identity prior to 48 is bull. Destiny, do you believe that Biden continuing to support the war effort is in his best interest for re-election? Yes, Israel's unbelievably popular with
His talking points are so easy to deflect. It's insane that people look to him as a source of intelligence. It's because his talking points might be easy to deflect, but debates, and I've repeated this over and over again, debates are not done for the truth, for arriving at the truth. Debates are conducted by those who are good at rhetoric. So most people that try to address any of the things that he's saying, especially in a real-time conversation, are going to end up getting yelled at quite a bit, and then also humiliated by his fan base that will never let go. His fan base are like a bunch of pit bulls to a baby, okay? They are piranhas. They'll swarm you. They'll literally
like
clip permanently.
Bunch of Hamas guys to 40
Whoa.
babies.
And they will consistently keep doing this over and over again because they basically are the exact same people that used to operate this way during the peak of the alt-right. Destiny debated a lot of alt-right dip and converted them to not being like liberals or progressives really, but just Destiny fans. And they never actually let go of the blood sport that they loved. They never actually let go of the...
This is roughly true. Like, I think he's framing it in a way that suits an argument that's untrue, but I think his description is roughly correct. Like, these people, obviously the thing they care about most is not politics, it's the sick dunks, right? But,
Yeah.
as I said previously, I would rather people be interested in sick dunks, because at least that requires some lip service to critical thinking, than to people who just scream at each other incoherently without logic, or people who just like react to shit without ever giving a real argument, and the expectation is just that you follow them for aesthetics. Like us, yes, like us.
The attitudes that they had. They never let go of their resentment. They never examined their worldview. They never really changed anything. They just said, yeah, I was an edgelord nihilist who called himself maybe a neo-Nazi. Now I'm an edgelord nihilist who calls himself a liberal, a Brandon supporter, a neoliberal, if you will.
Huh?
Awesome.
Wow.
You know, pick whatever you want to pick. It doesn't matter, because the real fun here is the toxicity, is the drama, is the cyber stalking, and it's the community memes that you cultivate off of on those who are in the out group. It's actually pretty simple. That's it. That's basically all that is going on here. You know what I mean? Did you really just like see? They're here. They will always show themselves as well, by the way. They love lolcowing and they love debating, which is precisely the reason why they don't really have a lot of friends in the real world, because nobody wants to be around a dude who's like constantly
Taking strays here.
What's
No,
happening?
I'm anti lolcow. I'm anti lolcow. I'm fine. I'm not taking this one.
chirping
Says the
chirping
one
about
that just
every
spoke
single
about the
issue.
worded.
No! That was purely for Olive.
Non-stop, which is why I try to urge you guys in this community to consistently not be that person either, because I think it's like really lame. Because as soon as I respond to this person and say, listen, brother, we know what his opinion is, there is no context that will make this look good. He is in support of Israel's actions in Palestine against the Palestinian population. He will move on to the next thing that I mentioned or something else. He will never address the point. A content creator that I really like that used to cover the tactics in which the alt-right operate fairly well is what's that guy? He did like all of those. He did all those like videos.
Oh, Innuendo Studios. Yeah, this guy is very good, actually. Yeah, the alt-right tactics. But also, I think what's interesting about watching those videos is that I don't think Destiny really uses these that often. Because, again, like, these are strategies you use when the basic fundamentals of your argument are indefensible. And I don't think Destiny's arguments are indefensible. I think he is representative of the status quo. But the status quo does have legitimate defenses against things like conservatism and things like leftism. There are fair arguments to levy at leftism, and I'm a leftist who accepts those arguments and can overcome them from different perspectives. The problem is that, like, you know, someone like Destiny will argue about, like, the value of profit and generating value and productivity for the sake of being able to distribute that value to everyone, and so you have to fight them on the process and point of value rather than on whether or not capitalism actually generates value. And I think where most liberals falter is that they won't argue on like the basic foundations of like how an economic theory works. They'll focus on things like whether capitalism actually does the thing that it ostensibly tries to do. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, depends on the situation. And so you end up in these like gribble matches that don't actually get anywhere useful because they're fighting at the surface level instead of the foundations of the idea. Make sense, Wiz? Yeah? You keep it up, buddy?
Yeah, gribble me up, dude.
Gribble you up? Alright, good. I'm so glad that you're keeping track. Make sure you take notes, buddy. There's going to be a test at the end. There's going to be an exam at the end. Get ready.
Yeah, but all I have to say
Alt-right
is Hasan bad and Destiny good, and you'll be okay. You'll be happy.
The Innuendo Studios protesting video, Mr. Markham, is pretty white, ironically, since he mentions the value of listening to Arsenal Mighties. You know what? Actually, I vaguely remember something like that. Yeah. Maybe we should watch that.
Playbook from Innuendo Studios. Exactly. The alt-right playbook from Innuendo Studios is actually pretty good because if you go through their entire alt-right playbook, you will realize like, oh my God, that's exactly what they do.
No.
That's it. Those are the tactics. The tactics have never changed. And the position for why, like the reason for why those tactics even exist.
Okay, actually, oh, hold on. Actually, you know what? I'll actually be a little bit charitable to Hasan here. There are plenty of DGGers who do use the alt-right playbook, like who do that kind of stuff, and it's because they're too dumb and midwit to actually deploy the arguments that Destiny is doing, right? Like, Destiny is, I'm not gonna say he's a genius, but he's above average, right? And, which you generally would be if you ascend to the top of the hierarchy. Like, there is, while meritocracy isn't perfect, or even, like, a valid ideological system, if you're very good, you are more likely to ascend to the top. Like, it does filter in some ways, somehow. Lots of bad ways, but also, like, he is above average at debating, obviously, and he has to be above average intelligence to do that correctly. Like, he's still going to be able to deploy arguments better than the vast majority of his fan base, who will then probably act like the alt-right dipshits that they may have been in the past.
Because it's for fun. These guys are not genuinely morally interested in it. There might be some people who are morally invested in, like, I guess, Israel doing ethnic cleansing. But ultimately, the real reason is drama and debate and toxicity and whatever Divorcelli chooses as his next target, they'll grab onto and they'll intercept communities and they'll act like they've been there and act like they've been fans for years. Like they basically are, I would say, a more presentable version of like Ice Poseidon's fan base. Like it's the
Is it just me, or is he talking faster the longer he goes on, Wiz? That's crazy.
The same kind of weaponization of autism.
They say something interesting.
Uh-huh.
But at least these guys understand the room a little bit better. They will, however, still come across like unhinged weirdos if you start asking them about what they feel about incest or age of consent or whatever. But they know at least how to present themselves. Like they know how to say like, oh, I'm just curious. All I'm saying is, not an accident, so many in this dude's community are straight up like fans of genuine pedophile Nazis. Like I'm talking real neo-Nazis. Like he has collaborated with neo-Nazis regularly, frequently, some of which are actual pedophiles.
Sam,
which ones?
Actual pedophiles?
Which
when
ones?
did Destiny talk to Sam Hyde? I never saw this. Huh.
Is Sam Hyde an actual pedophile?
I don't think so. Well, Sam Hyde is a guy who runs around saying he's a Nazi pedophile for as a joke. So like, I do think he's like, he is absolutely like irony poisoned to the point where he may as well be, I guess, like a far right freak. And I think he probably
He may as well fuck a kid, dude. He's allowed that.
Well, sorry, you're saying that people are allowed to fuck kids now, Wiz? Sorry, you want to expand on that position, Mr.
You were
Three Lemon
like,
Sips?
yeah, he makes jokes. He might as well fuck a kid.
I think. Are you okay, buddy? What concoction of medications have you taken? Do you want to give me the list?
Hey, if you can't debate me, get out, dude.
Oh god,
That's
okay.
all I'm saying.
Well, I think Wiz is actually delirious. This is gonna be a rough one, boys. Oh my god. Oh no, this is not good. You're gonna. The good news is that Wiz is gonna have to edit this. He's gonna see how fucking schizophrenic he's looked. That's good. That's good for me. Bruh. I need him to dial it back a notch. Excuse you. They're called libertarians. Yeah, Sam Hyde is a libertarian. Otherwise known as a white man who wants to say the N-word on the internet.
Pedophiles, actual neo-Nazis who have given money to neo-Nazi defense funds, and it's just memes. It's just for the memes, actually. We just think that they're funny, and they just do funny memes. But the real reason why he has collaborated with them, no, I'm not talking about Nick Fuentes. I'm talking about Sam Hyde. Now, of course, the real reason why he collaborated with him was because he keeps saying that he wants to kill me. Sam Hyde, that is. Another person that I rarely ever mention, because who the f cares? He's a pedophile Nazi. But he collaborated with him. I remember at the time, it was at the top post LSF. They deleted it, of course, now. But it was the top post LSF, him being like, yeah, I want to kill him. You lay down with dogs, you're going to get some fleas, You should treat them like football watchers treat Arsenal fans. Why argue with Arsenal fans when you can just wait? Just wait for them to embarrass themselves, lol. Yeah, exactly. A lot of these people just carry generational resentment almost, and they just hold on to failures that they've had in the past, and these hangups actually end up ruining their lives. In my opinion, it's just very unhealthy. That's it. Dudes who've lost out on opportunities or had phenomenal opportunities and f***ed up the bag by being out and about Nazis, like the Cartoon Network show, the Adult Swim show that Sam Hyde used to have, and then that fall off ruins their brain even further. And they hold their grievances, like they hold that close to themselves. Like they still talk about how like they think Tim Heidecker is the reason why Sam Hyde lost his Adult Swim job, and they will go to ridiculous extents, doxing, stalking, harassment, and they are exactly what you think they are. They look like the Soy Jack meme in real life. They look like the Cartman playing WoW in real life for the most part. It's just because I think in reality, this kind of resentment is just very pathetic, and holding on to this grievance and not letting go and just moving on is going to just fuck your brain up after a while. That's it.
Most American voters, of course. You have to acknowledge that the Palestinian people want violence. Not Hamas, not the PLO, and not just the terrorists, but Palestinians en masse think that fighting will serve their end. That thought needs to be wiped out. I'm sorry, but no offense, Iran's lost, okay? I'm sorry, they're the losers of the Middle East. Everybody looks at them, everybody laughs. They try to mine the sea to the south of them. They try to shoot shit into Saudi Arabia. But Iran, the Ayatollah is such a loser, even the people in Iran hate the government.
Sodas were not allowed in. Cookies were not allowed in. Can you explain to me what threat cookies pose to Israel from your perspective?
Well, if they're the keto elf ones, it's like 200 calories a cookie, so maybe they just don't want people getting fat. Are the people in Gaza being starved? When that population
that's clearly a joke. Like, what obviously doesn't. What's the okay, whatever.
has exploded, one of the highest birth rates in the past 2 decades. I don't understand how they could sustain it if they didn't have food. Why did Israel ban potato chips, cookies, Gaza Strip?
Oh wait, he Googled it, dude. He's gonna Google a talking point real quick, bro. Just wait.
I read the ICJ opinion, and they did.
Yeah, yes, actually, it's not a bad idea to Google something if you're trying to, like, if someone gives you a point that you don't know, rather than making an immediate, like, gut reaction point. Like, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world to Google it, and maybe see if there's, like, some reading or writing on it.
If you don't know about that shit already, don't even talk about it.
I mean, like, it's such a conviction-based thing. Hasan is like, why doesn't he... He's basically, I mean, the implicit... Like, there are 2 options that Destiny has here. He can not look it up and immediately give a take, or he can look it up and give a take. And Hasan has shown multiple times that he's pro-conviction with no evidence so far. But then he would just argue that Destiny's biased because he's biased against him. Like, it's like, oh, it's so dumb. It's so fucking dumb, dude. Yeah, exactly. Christ, like, if you, oh, fuck, yeah, don't Google things you don't know, just pretend you do so you can look super smart, yeah.
Didn't say to stop doing X, they just said, be careful.
With no weapons, just marked from a drone.
Yeah, I would say these guys are almost certainly Hamas. Footage being real doesn't mean you're not being manipulated.
This editor needs to, do, violence on themselves. What the fuck what is this weird little, like, pop up, increase the size of the window just to see like a little reaction of, really? Look at this.
ICJ opinion, and they didn't say to stop doing X. They just said, be careful.
With no weapons, just marked from a drone.
Yeah, I would say these guys
just
are
got
almost
bigger for a
certainly
second.
Hamas.
Look at this.
Footage being real doesn't mean you're not being manipulated. For instance, the Flower Massacre. It's not fake, but it's staged. Look at all these cameramen. This is film. This.
He's doing Pallywood.
This is portfolio
Bro, you're
shit. That's why he has all these editing flares. He's doing shit for his portfolio.
Oh God, is that what
So
you're doing with me right now?
He's going to show it to a future employer and be like, I can do this.
You're saying this because you're trying to shop me around as your portfolio. What the fuck? Hold on a second.
Please, do you think any of my videos look good?
True. Hey, hey, that Doctor Who copyright infringement was banging, all right? I think you're on the right track there, buddy. All right.
Thank you. That's
You're not even Israeli. What's happening? Bro's talking like a settler, dude. How did this happen?
What?
I don't hear about Pallywood from anyone that is not directly like an Israeli ultranationalist. That's shocking. Pallywood is the conspiracy theory that is laughable to anyone with a brain that only the most psychopathic far-right Israelis believe in, that they claim, well, I mean, or not believe in, but at least have the audacity to openly say. Normal Israelis also do believe in Pallywood, but I'm saying like most of them at least know better to just like not openly state that this is completely made up. Pallywood, for those.
Well, hold on. The Pallywood accusation is absolutely co-opted massively by the far right and like schizo-Zionists, but there have been multiple instances of misinformation and even deliberately staged videos, like that woman who's in like the hotel that's being bombed, right? That turned out to be fake. Like, Pallywood is, you know, a shitty, easy way to dismiss a bunch of very real tragedies going on there, but there have also been on both sides misinformation videos, right? Like, you can't just dismiss. You can't. Like, pretending that Pallywood is only endorsed by the right wing when Pallywood is a thing that has happened a couple times is a bit disingenuous. Like, I think you have to acknowledge that, like, some things have been faked, as they are always faked in every modern conflict, on both sides of every modern conflict. Ukraine,
I think then it just comes down to what you're accusing of being Pallywood is the difference there, right?
Yeah, I guess. Like, if you
I think it needs
were
to be
say
proved to be Pallywood for it to actually be Pallywood, because Destiny, I think this is a sort of fair criticism against Destiny, is Destiny will just like blindly call something Pallywood after watching it like 2 or 3 times and being like, yeah, this looks fake, you know? Whereas I think like that's the difference between like fake media and real media.
Wiz,
sure, look at it with a critical lens. You can say like, oh, I think this might be fake, but like throwing out like, oh, this is Pallywood, instead of just saying like, this is like might be fake or staged, has an implication to it, right?
Well, yeah, but okay, look, Wiz, I may
it's
not
irresponsible to call something.
I may
Pallywood.
not listen. I may not be as big a Destiny fan as you and watch as many videos as he does, as you do, but when I've seen him say things like that, not with Pallywood specifically, but with lots of video footage, I see him use very couch language to avoid, again, his deal is taking the most correct position. I think he's fairly well known for not making hard statements about whether something is true or false. And instead he'll say something like, I can see how this is maybe put together fake. And that looks a little bit suspicious to me. But I don't know. Maybe it's all legit. Well, or I don't know.
This one is talking about in particular, right? Because I saw this specific example. This is talking about that one footage, right? The attack with like all those people running out. Do you remember the one that was like a big deal?
I don't think I saw that one. No.
So the Pallywood, that's where he caught flack for it, because even Loaderbox was kind of like, I wouldn't call this Pallywood, you know, like confidently.
Okay, fair enough.
Like Pallywood is.
Those of you who don't know, is just the idea that Israel actually is.
Oh, is this the video?
What? Yeah. Maybe. I don't think it is.
Behind the scenes footage of a film shared as Palestinians. Okay.
Than doing any genocide whatsoever, or never really killing Palestinians, but as a matter of fact, Palestinians are just doing makeup and faking.
Well, okay, oh god, this is so disingenuous, dude. Like, no one, even the far right aren't saying that every single injured Palestinian is faking it. He's literally said never actually getting injured. No one's ever killing Palestinians. Like, no one. Netanyahu is not making the claim. Fuentes is not making the claim that well, I guess Fuentes is pro-Palestine just because he hates Jews so much, so maybe that's not the best maybe that's not the best comparison, actually. But no one's saying every single Palestinian is making that up. This is super disingenuous.
The deaths. And honestly, outside of Germans, I've never seen somebody in the West who has no connection to Israel whatsoever repeat the Pallywood statements like this. Yeah, it is like akin to Holocaust denial. Yes.
This is cinema. This is Kino. If anything, people screaming for help might carry more evidence that it's a terrorist than not. Yeah. What is the implication in your mind? Like, what are you thinking? You're like, oh,
wait,
oh, dude.
Is this the thing? This is cinema. This is Kino. What was he referring to? I don't even know here. I love that there's no context for me to make a third party like decision on this, and there's no way for me to follow up and understand whether the thing he was reacting to was reasonable or not.
Whoa.
This is great, man. This is awesome. What do the Destiny fans have to say about this? They're probably just like, oh, dude, you're taking him out of context. He didn't mean it. He was just joking when he says people screaming for help actually is more likely that they're terrorists is a bar for sure.
Okay, the commanders in Israel today are like, all right, here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to intentionally target this convoy of humanitarian. We're going to all of them. And then we'll just like publish a statement later today. It'll be epic and hilarious. Like, I'm going to turn the whole world against me. We're going to foreign nationals for the lulz. What a statement. Like, even Russia wouldn't do something that. Nobody operates in this way. It's so stupid. It's so patently obvious. Like, if you think this, you're a child, and your whole.
It's not your idiot. He's gonna pull out a real good Google search to show you down. Yeah. I mean, listen. I'm not gonna lie. Nice clip chimping. Listen to his context, bro. What context? The context is him defending Israel. Is he not defending Israel? You can't pick this apart. This is him defending.
No, what? He's not defending Israel. He's saying even if Israel were as savagely, insanely evil as you think they are, this would not serve their interests. He's not defending Israel. He's saying no version of Israel in any of your mindset is so insanely incompetent that they would be doing this. It would fucking torch their international reputation beyond a doubt. Like, that's not a defense of Israel. That's explaining why Israel wouldn't do the thing, because it would be a fucking catastrophe for them. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god.
The World Central Kitchen bombings that the entire global community recognized as completely unjustifiable, that Israel itself said oopsie on. Like, what do you mean? Is he saying...
right. So Israel themselves has said that it was a mistake. So that actually. Oh my god, he's internally contradictory, dude. I'm gonna lose my shit, dude. He literally, like, 10 seconds later, he fucking agrees with me, but if you agree with me there, then your point is internally inconsistent. But you can't say here that Israel's taken responsibility and also said that Israel would have behaved in the way that Destiny was implying was unreasonable to believe. Like, Destiny's whole point was that it wasn't an intentional planned thing. Now you're quoting Israel saying that it was a mistake. Which is it? Oh my god.
Yeah, just kidding. This is what I would say if I was a genocidal asshole after the very second that clip ends, because that's the only time where this would be out of context. Haha, just kidding. If I was a genocidal monster demonstrating how oblivious I am to the inhumanity presented by the horrifying videos that are coming out of Gaza, this is what I would say. He straight up in the previous one was talking about the flower massacre being keynote. It is real, but it's still like cameras are presented. He's undermining the severity of the Israeli actions. Like, that's it.
Approach to the conflict is childlike. I don't know if there needs to be another occupation. I don't know if they just need another government. I don't know if there needs to be like a different Palestinian administrator, but what exists right now just can't be. It just can't be. I don't know. It's wholly unacceptable.
You guys have an encyclopedia worthy paste bin of like everything that I say that is like clipped out of context or clipped in a way that it like is to show the absolute worst possible positions that I do not have. So go ahead, give me the context of any number of things that he's actually saying here. I'm sure you have his opinion locked and ready.
But it's not okay. It's not even about the context. It's about the it's a desperate desire for a biased interpretation of what he's saying. Like, clearly, without even, I don't need any additional context to understand that in this clip he's saying, I don't know if they need this, I don't know if they need that, I don't know if they need that. Like, clearly this is not debate mode or statement mode, this is conversation mode, right? Like, he's talking through the options. What does Hasan think the statement is here?
Ready to go in the chamber too. He's so close to saying Palestinians need to die, bro. He has said that.
What? Ah, come on, man. I don't know, dude. This is so weak. Oh my god. Oh, this is blackpilling. Hasan is the biggest politics streamer? Oh my god, I understand why this guy lives in Destiny's head 24/7. Holy shit, dude. I would be so blackpilled if I knew that my opposition was this guy. Holy fuck. I'm so glad that the closest thing we have to competition is the Muppet Show from the 90s reruns.
The 90s? Bruh.
Yeah. What,
you mean the 70s?
Oh, was it the 70s? I watched it in the 90s, so I don't fucking know.
You didn't watch it in the 90s. I know how.
I was watching. Hey, man, I was watching Muppet Babies while I was a Muppet Baby.
That was his starting position. His starting position on October 7, I think, was literally, yes, a genocide needs to happen. Lol.
I'm pro genocide. Like,
Muppet Babies was 1984. Like, you bitch.
Makes sense that I was watching the reruns of the Muppet Babies. Then stay mad. You'll never suss out my real age.
I think that Israel should just draw its borders about where it is now, and basically Palestinians can go live in another place. That's really shit, but like that's about where I'm at.
And then he spent the next couple of months scouring Wikipedia to engage in post hoc rationalizations for why this is actually permissible.
Well, hold on. No, because he changed his position. He was scouring Wikipedia because he... Okay, here's what actually happened. I'm going to explain Destiny's thought process here. And by the way, there are 3 clips out in the world of me stating what was happening in Destiny's brain and Destiny reviewing it on stream, because this was during Chud Logic panels, and him going, based, true, this guy is so correct. So I'm a Destiny himself certified Destiny mind reader. I'm going to explain exactly what
went on. What a dick rider, dude.
I am, sure, fine. For this, fine, fuck you. Well, he's riding my dick because he's saying I'm correct, okay? Here's the deal. Destiny entered a debate he wasn't prepared for. He found himself in a position where he was defending genocide. He was defending ethnic cleansing. He got pushed down a tunnel, the doors closed, and he found himself in an untenable position. He stepped away from that and went, oh fuck, dude, I just got pushed into a position where the only thing that was consistent with my existing understanding of the issue was to be pro-genocide. I need to do some fucking reading because there's no way I'm pro-genocide, right? And then he went away and did a bunch of research, and you know what the conclusion he came to was? That he's not pro-genocide, and he's just pro-Israel, or mildly pro-Israel, with respect to Palestinians not dying en masse wherever possible. Like, I think that that's a very clear trajectory there. Like, you find yourself, it's like when I debate debate someone on veganism, and I get them to admit that basically what they're doing is no different to fucking dogs. And then it would be crazy if everyone ran around going, oh my god, they're a dog fucker, they're a dog fucker. And then they did a bunch of research to post hoc justify their position on fucking dogs. No! They did some research because they realized that they got pushed into a position they weren't prepared for, and they got fucked and cucked and sucked, and now they're done, and they need to figure out whether veganism is actually the way to go, or whether being pro-Israel actually makes sense. And then he ended up getting some more nuanced positions on it. The dog fucker one, though, is good. Well, whoever was arguing with Destiny in that debate must have done a fairly good job to get him into a pro-genocide position. I don't know. I actually haven't watched that debate. Maybe I should. But it's not easy to get Destiny into a position where he looks like a fucking disaster, right? Like, whoever was debating him must have had some debate prowess in order to get him there. Like, the way you beat Destiny is you do have to be really good at debating, and you have to hit him on a topic that he doesn't genuinely have a lot of knowledge on, which is quite a lot of things, right? Like, he does get hyper-fixated on certain topics.
Doctor Who, Bionicle,
sure, yeah.
etc.
Well, like, you know, I mean, when I beat him in a debate, it was on Balenciaga, so my area of expertise compared to his, you know, I'm a professional in defending large corporations from pedophilia accusations. Thank you very much. Call me pro Zion because I defend. Oh well, I defend big corporations from you know, blood libel accusations like the Nazis were levying at the Balenciaga bullshit.
Everything that Israel is doing is good.
Smug, I don't think you're even this intelligent. How are you this dumb?
Oh, dude,
What?
same.
Destiny's not gonna fuck you, bro. Wait, sorry, do you think that Destiny is pro-genocide? Hold on, is your position that Destiny today is pro-genocide? I'm just curious.
Destiny's going through a divorce. There's a chance he will fuck him.
Yeah. Also, to be clear, I'm anti-Destiny. I've beaten Destiny in debates before, and I critique him constantly. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm not caping for Destiny. Okay? I'm saying that Destiny's not pro- Again, if you want to defeat your enemy, you have to understand your enemy properly. The reason Hasan is a fucking retard is because he doesn't understand the people he's trying to critique. In order to understand your enemy, you have to have a charitable interpretation of what they're saying, because if you're wrong about the things that you're saying, you're gonna look like a fucking idiot, Taco. You're gonna look like a fucking idiot. You're pro Hasan! You're a pro fucking moron! Okay?
He got very quiet as soon as he was challenged, dude. Oh,
Interesting, interesting. All right, let's go.
Good. He literally started there and worked backwards, which is something that he hates the most, because a lot of people do that, and he says I do that all the time. But when he does it in broad daylight,
you know what? I'm going to be charitable. I think Taco Light is preparing a mega paragraph. Okay, I think this is the Kendrick Lamar Drake beef. Okay, I think he's preparing a fucking huge.
Taco's gone, dude. Taco's gone.
Oh, he ran! No!
After I said I could see him, he's gone.
Embarrassed him out of the chat.
Oh, well,
it really flew off the handle because you were vaguely supportive of Destiny as well. I wasn't even supportive of Destiny. I think Destiny is incorrect on this conflict. I think he's incorrect on basically all the foundations of politics. I've kicked his ass before, okay? Like, Destiny, all I understand is that in order to beat Destiny, you shouldn't underestimate him. Like, you can run around all day saying Nazi Germany and Hitler, they're all fucking idiot meth addicts that aren't gonna do anything right. If you run into that army, assuming they're purely incompetent, you're gonna get fucking blended, bro. You need to accept that your enemy has some level of competence. If the enemy is both strong and weak, you're no different to the fucking fascists that misunderstand their enemies, and it's one of the fundamental reasons they historically do a shitload of damage and then lose. It's because they have no internal ability to correctly assess the power level of their opponents, because their internal propagandistic mechanisms prevent them from doing so. Fascism is unstable specifically because, in great part, they aren't able to correctly identify how dangerous their enemies are. Why would you make the same mistake as a Nazi? Idiot.
his audience might even get mad at him for it. You know what I mean? So he desperately tries to act like, no, I'm learning. I'm just learning. You hate learning. It's like, no, dumb. We're not saying you hate learning. We're not making fun of you for learning. We're making fun of you for being completely oblivious to the reality.
Did you hear Destiny say the Palestinians, not Hamas, just want violence and need that pounded out of them? Did he say the phrase pounded out of them? Maybe he did, and that would be wrong. However, it is true that Palestinians broadly support violence. Yes, in polling, majority of Palestinians are pro-violent attacks on Israel because they've been propagandized by the authoritarian structure they live under, that is the best route to peace that they have. That is the best route to a representation and like a statehood that they have, right? Do you disagree with me? You're not pro-Hamas.
Reality and playing catch up, and still, of course, because your starting position is unshakable here, because you're the permanent contrarian, you're doing a very job at defending genocide, which is already hard to begin with. Why are we on looking up facts? Oh, he's being disingenuous. Yes, dude. Yes, using Wikipedia is okay. That's not the point here. It's so funny how quickly you get captivated by this like talking point where you're like, oh, I guess they are.
Well, hold on. Okay. Here are your two options, Hasan, all right? Either you are making the argument that looking shit up on Wikipedia during an argument is a bad idea, or you are making such a poor representation of your actual position that that's all anyone interprets your argument as. So let's hear what his real position apparently is, since he's been given the same critique that I've given him.
I guess these people are on research. No, dude. Wiki research is just a catch-all term. But when I talk about wiki research lol, what I'm not talking about is like trying to genuinely learn what the fuck is going on by scouring Wikipedia. What I'm on is having a position that is pro-Israeli, genociding Palestinian people, and then trying to play catch-up against people who have been literally writing books on the matter since before he was born. And here it is. There you go. Thank you. If you want context, it says bombing the kitchen crew was bad. Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Man, books are just a long Wikipedia post. Don't at me.
Thank God he said bombing the kitchen crew was bad.
I'm telling you, right? Reading Galaxy in Flames, I couldn't fucking understand that.
Until someone donate. No, you don't get to do this unless people donate, okay? All right? If no one's donating, you don't get to talk about your toys. Fuck you.
But to say Israel deliberately bombed, knowing them, they were just feeding Palestinians, so you went on a 5-minute rant when you both agree it was a bad thing to happen just so you think the Jews were just looking for blood of innocence? Yeah, dude, that's what I said. You're right. Yeah. You definitely did a really good job of reframing my argument in the most charitable, most favorable way possible, even though I've, spent hours talking about it. No, my friend, my position on this is that the organized chaos that seemingly is disorganized on the ground is deliberate, okay? It's called kill zones. That is precisely what Israel is doing, so that their units that have already been operating without any kind of serious top-down scrutiny will continue doing these incredibly violent things. And the evidence I use for that is the 200 aid workers that they killed prior to the World Central Kitchen.
Okay, wait. Those aid workers were killed by the kill zones, or is this a separate point? It's not super clear. I didn't hear about these kill zones before. Is the kill zone thing real?
They made 3 of them, dude. No, they made 4 actually. The 4th one came out on PS4.
Yeah, but they were PlayStation exclusives. I don't think PlayStation exclusives kill zones count as a war crime. I think under the Geneva Convention...
Do you know what's actually crazy about that? You play as the bad guys. Yeah, the bad guys look like Nazis, but then in the second one, you're bad guys to the Nazis. It's weird.
Okay, that is strange.
You like commit genocide on them.
Both things are true, but they don't connect. What is this? What is this kill zones thing? Hold on, I'll look it up while he's talking.
What kills
aid workers? So, there have been many instances where deconfliction has not saved the lives of aid workers.
Don't pretend you know this. I watch more Loner Books than you do, and that's where I get all my Israel.
I know exactly what this. I fucking played all 3 of them. The main antagonists are the Hellgast, but actually they're a remnant faction of humanity. And like you kill them all for resources. Like you kill their planet for resources. I'm pretty sure.
Al Jazeera, 5th of April. Gaza is one big kill zone. After 6 months of apocalyptic war, Gaza today is a bunch of kill zones within a larger kill zone. This doesn't seem... Hold on. I know it's Al Jazeera, but fuck, that doesn't... Okay. 15th of April, the New Arab. Kill zones for Israel, there are no... I hate every time I look up something like this, all I see is Haaretz, Al Jazeera, Middle East Eye, the New Arab. Like, I only ever see fucking... one side of everything I look up. If something bad happened to the Israelis, it's all fucking Times of Israel and shit. Something bad happened to the Palestinians, it's all fucking Al Jazeera and like the Arabic news networks. Like, oh god, this is why I hate this conflict so much.
Whether it be the Palestinian Red Crescent, NERA aid workers, whether it be any number of UNRWA aid workers that are working to feed Palestinians, because Israel wants to do ethnic cleansing. That's the overarching goal here, and they've said it time and time again.
I'm just gonna, you know what, you're gonna hate me for this. I'm just gonna manually set a button on my stream deck to play the scroll so that I'll just do it manually.
Why can't you set these basic things up?
I did set it up. I don't know why it's unreliable. I don't know what's going on.
Such basic components.
Wait, I'm
as a sub alert.
Oh my god, fine, I'll take a look. I'll see what's wrong with it.
And that's precisely what the ICJ court case is about. So I don't know why you are against, I don't know why you are against even liberals who are Zionists themselves, like Jose Andres, the founder of World Central Kitchen, who also said Israel deliberately targeted his convoy. They've killed 200 aid workers prior to this. Most of those aid workers also were, there working with round-the-clock communication with the IDF. You can't do that without communicating with the IDF. You can't move convoys without prior knowledge from the IDF, and they still get lasered. How does that happen? It happens because it's a kill zone. The goal is to starve out the population. The goal is to kill as many people as possible. And
the goal is to kill as many people as possible. The goal is to starve out the population. God. That's all
I mean, if the goal is, if by people he means Hamas operatives, maybe he's right.
Yeah, but he's saying Palestinians, right? As many Palestinians as possible.
Yeah.
Ugh, whatever.
their allies. I've seen this man defend BLM. I don't know what...
Their goal, they are so fixated on destroying Hamas that they're killing many Palestinian civilians in service of that. Again, don't misunderstand your enemy. Their goal is to destroy Hamas, and they don't care enough about the civilians that end up as collateral damage. That is the issue with this conflict. If you think that the enemy are literally just genocidal evil maniacs, your only hope is to, I guess, petition the US to invade Israel because they're essentially Nazi Germany and nothing will stop them except bombs, right? Or you can try, if you understand that the real issue is that they don't give enough of a shit to prevent collateral damage in their aim, then now you have two potential avenues. You can do what you can to try and increase the care they have for collateral damage, and you can advocate for the dismantling of Hamas in a way that's as non-destructive as possible. Because now you have an aligned goal with your enemy that you can work towards, even if you disagree with them. You can do things to try and make Hamas less valuable and less powerful, right? Like, for example, not endorsing and propagating their fucking propaganda, which makes Palestinians think that violence is the answer, which gives Israelis cover to blow up fucking Palestinians. Idiots. Oh my fucking god. Ugh.
Wait, what? I've seen this man defend BLM. I don't understand how he supports Israel, like how that happened. Bro, I don't know if you know this, but the reason why he got banned from this website, at least on one of these instances, was because he very famously said that he wants white supremacists to run over Black Lives Matter protesters.
The rioting needs to stop. And if that means like white redneck militia dudes out there mowing down protesters that think that they can torch buildings at 10 p.m., then at this point they have my blessing, because holy shit, this needs to stop. It needed to stop a long time ago. Like, holy
This is what happens.
Me and Lonerbox was going to fight over this.
Wait, really? Lonerbox was in favor of this? Was he okay with this statement?
I don't know if it was that particular statement, but he genuinely agrees with Destiny's prescription of the Rittenhouse stuff.
Okay, let's game this out a little bit, because I disagree with Destiny massively here, but oh man, it's tough.
He's all about like the violent defense of property.
He's
like,
yeah. First of all, he's massively private property pilled, right? Just like Chris Speaks, beat a bitch over Bionicles, you know. Like it's
Well, that's where that conversation came from. Like
yeah,
that was the conversation I had with Lonerbox first.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. But yeah, look, like okay. So here's the issue. Okay, liberals don't like this kind of revolutionary. Oh, it's not revolutionary violence. This kind of violence. Okay, but that kind of violence can lead to positive outcomes. But unfortunately, it didn't and wouldn't because of the lack of effective organization on the left. So it's tough because principally I'm not against violent rioting, but in the instance of BLM, there just wasn't enough on the ground genuinely leftist and useful activism to turn that violence into anything useful. Now, if you were to say, for example, in a hypothetical, you know what, I'm going to talk about this movie I saw yesterday called Civil War. Okay, this is the plot of the movie Civil War. None of this happened in real life.
You didn't see that yesterday. You're a liar.
Wiz, I'm trying to use it as a framing device so I can talk about violence without being cucked for it by Jesus Christ. Play along, holy fuck. Anyway, so I saw a film called Civil War. Dude. I saw a film called. Is it out yet? By the way.
What?
Civil War.
Yeah, Captain America: Civil War. That's been.
Oh my god, sure, Captain America: Civil War. Anyway, so in that movie, all right. 100 police stations get firebombed, all right, by rioters, okay, and the destruction and like fearfulness of the like them there's enough leftist organization on the ground in America that 100 police stations get fucking torched to the ground. Okay, all right. The riots are all very specifically targeting this institution that the riot is trying to get rid of. Anyway, if there's enough leftist organization on the ground, then that kind of violence is justified because you may actually get positive outcomes from it. In the case of BLM, it just wasn't organized enough, and so torching 1 or 2 police stations and breaking a bunch of targets and shit wasn't actually that effective. So Desi's correct in his assessment that the rioting and the violent rioting was unhelpful, but the reason he's against it is because he's got an overfixation on the defense of private property, and he's a liberal, which means that he would rather take violence of the state that's hidden and non-direct. He prefers indirect violence. Oh shit, what's that Martin Luther King quote? I'm gonna do the fucking letter from Birmingham jail meme. They would prefer like a, you know, a absence of justice that's non-violent than a violent justice or reckoning, whatever the fuck it is. Paraphrasing my friend of the stream, Martin Luther King Jr., friend of the stream, Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah. You know, he was in an episode of Doctor Who where the doctor sat at the front of the bus and made Rosa Parks sit at the back.
That's not true.
Real, by the way. That 100% that's real. 100% that's real. Her and her companions sit at the front of the bus. This is a Jodie Whittaker episode. It's rough.
When you only see
donate if you
people
want to hear about
with
Doctor
TikTok clips where they're popping off. You're talking about a man who wrote a manifesto about how he should be able to say the N-word in private, actually, and it's totally fine, and that all of the people that were calling him out for it are actually the real racists and wrong, who his fans.
Wait, hold on. On the private N-word debate, what's your take? If you're in a room full of like 4 black dudes that think it's funny for a white dude to say the N-word, are you gonna say the N-word?
What? For your approval? No way, dude.
No, as a joke.
What's the joke?
The joke is that you're a white dude saying the N-word and the black guys find it funny.
But then you're just doing it for their approval then.
Or because you think it's funny.
I don't think that's funny. It'd have to be a good joke.
Yeah, it might be a good joke, but my point is that, like, would you make a good joke that 4 black guys approved of in a you know, you're smoking weed with the boys, okay? They happen to all be black, and they're you're the minority being bullied.
Hey, if they're my boys, I won't think they're N-words. That's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't say call them N-words. I'm just saying they want you to say it because they think it'll be funny. By the way, I can tell you've never had black friends because this is a very normal thing for like black guys to do as a joke in that kind of environment. They will. Yeah,
but you don't do it. The joke is you don't do it.
No, I know. I'm just asking if you would. I'm just asking if you would. I would never say the N-word under any circumstances, not once, unless Dave Starmer came on the podcast. That's the only time I would ever say it.
Maybe then you'd be reading a quote.
I'm just asking, exactly. I'm just asking, or I'll be making my own quotes, baby.
And still fucking act like writing an N-word manifesto was totally based, and that they still try to claim that I agree with him on it. Don't even publicly say that you want to be able to say the N-word in private. What do you mean? Like, when you do that, you're basically giving permission to everyone. It's not smart, wise, or even on the optics front, it doesn't look good anyway. Like, you are not morally consistent. You are not the champion of morality and justice for wanting to say the N-word as a white guy. This is like an issue that you should give up.
I don't know, the Palestinian...
This is the singular time that Hasan has been completely correct. He's right. Like, there is a single argument, and the argument relies on you not making a large public declaration that you agree that saying the N-word in private is a good idea, because then you are endorsing it to people who are going to misuse it. So if you do believe in that point, then as a part of that principle, you have to never admit that that's your position in order to keep the position consistent. So as soon as you talk about it, you lose the debate, because the whole conceit of the debate is that you're not endorsing it or publicizing that it's okay, and so then people are going to misunderstand and misuse it and cause problems.
Wants to get rich and enjoy getting fucked off by his population for making...
Yeah, brave, strong steps. Crazy. Israel does keep killing their Nelson Mandelas like regularly, or jails them, but you know, it is funny though. Also, it is ironic when talking about Nelson Mandela, who very famously was pro-Palestinian emancipation, who called Israel a genocidal apartheid state, who also was jailed for decades over his refusal to condemn violent actions against the apartheid, the South African apartheid. But it's so easy to capture people. It's so easy to capture an audience that doesn't really know the full context. If you don't understand that Nelson Mandela, for example, was on the terror watch list until 2008, on the US terror watch list until 2008, long after he had been released from prison, long after the apartheid.
Well, yeah, but that's because Nelson Mandela was involved in a series of cafe bombings.
Yeah. Everyone knows he hates coffee.
Exactly.
Had been successfully abolished in South Africa.
A man of 2 causes. He was a tea drinker, anti coffee, and also he loved Africa. That's what I know about Nelson Mandela. He really liked Africa a lot.
and what the reasons for why the U.S. placed him on the terror watch list were due to his violent resistance against South Africa's apartheid regime, why he was jailed. You know, stop spreading misinformation. Everybody knows Mandela was arrested and jailed for being a communism. Yeah, good one. You can make an argument like this. You can make an argument like that because many people in your audience doesn't know either. So my anger is twofold in the situation, obviously. One, I'm angry because I disagree with him and he is like defending a genocidal apartheid regime, obviously. But the other anger I have is that for a person who presents themselves as the arbiter of truth, a beacon of morality, a beacon of like intellectual curiosity, he's actually making his fans dumber by feeding them a reliable narrative, by creating, ironically enough, an echo chamber. Now his fans will say, oh dude, he dukes it out.
Oh my god. He so effectively projects everything that he's doing. It's crazy. You can literally just dismantle Hasan by his own clips. Like, it's man. This is what so many people do. This so many, especially on the right. It's not as common on the left, but on the right, it's so frequent. I'll see like Fox News segments and like fucking Tucker Carlson or Ben Shapiro or whatever, who will just basically state everything they're doing explicitly and then claim that the opponent is doing it. And part of the reason they do this is because on the right, they think that the left is as morally bankrupt as they are, and so everyone is doing it, and so they're just going to use their expertise in grifting to claim that the opponents are grifting. And I think Hasan is making a similar mistake, because he's a grifter, he knows he's a grifter, and he's using his expertise in how the grift works to claim that Destiny's doing the same grift as him, and he probably believes it, because the alternative would be to believe that Destiny is a misguided man with bad opinions and conviction in the wrong areas based on his unfortunately, I don't know, his handcuffing to fucking neoliberalism. But ultimately, Destiny does have, like, his own point of view, his own morals, which are often incorrect, but ultimately backed on a moral foundation that is consistent, even if I disagree with it, compared to Hasan, who's just purely conviction-pilled and purely just grifting based on what his audience wants to hear. No one is this fucking audience captured. Like, holy fucking shit. Oh. Whoa. Yeah, I'm done with this guy. Jesus Christ. This is the most Hasan content I've ever watched in my life, and I don't think I'm ever going to do it again. Fuck this guy. Desperately and unfortunately, I'm going to have to give this dub to Destiny, and Wiz is going to hang himself tonight. I'm sorry. I know. I'm no better than Chris. No better than Chris.